He won 20K in small claims court after suing a shady contractor. 7 years later, he's still trying to collect. It's Canadian news. Nova Scotia Small Claims Court awarded Peter Dobson almost $21,000 when he sued his former contractor, Nelson Larry Gross, in 2016. But then 7 years later, Dobson says he hasn't seen a dime. Peter Dobson hoped collect on his win in small claims court would be my god. Let's try that one more time. Peter Dobson hoped collecting his small win in small claims court would be a slam dunk. After all, he had it in black and white. A judgment saying the contractor he had to build a second-story addition on his Nova Scotia home owed him almost $20,000 for failing to finish the job. 7 years later, Dobson is still trying to get his money. Legal expert warned that small claims court wins don't mean the plaintiffs will get any money, especially when the defendants refuse to pay. I do not have any faith whatsoever we'll be able to collect the money, Dobson told Go Public. When you're dealing with an individual like this, small claims court is totally ineffective. In 2014, Dobson hired Nelson Gross and his company, which at the time was called Gross Contracting, to build a second-story addition to his Lake Echo NS home. A $170,000 job, according to the statement claim Dobson filed with the court. Dobson said after a couple of months, when the work came to an abrupt stop, the contractor didn't answer his calls. That's when Dobson hired other companies to finish the work. He says on November 15th, he decided to sue the former contractor to force him to pay what he owed. This is just getting his money back. The contractor just took off with it. So I think this is going to be a common thing, especially the legal system here in Canada is like garbage. At least it seems in terms of basic justice. It really is completely weighted towards the victim to recover everything, which I know is pretty obvious in some senses, but the the defendant can just go, nope, we're not gonna pay. Yeah. BC lawyer James Lay says, who specializes in civil law, compares winning small claims courts to climbing a mountain. When you get your judgment, you're only halfway there, he said. The problem is there are people out there that don't want to pay. You really have to decide, is it worth the effort and the money and the time to pursue people? Winning a small claims lawsuit, according to Lay, is just an acknowledgement by the court that someone owes you money. He says, unlike family court, which has an enforcement department that helps collect on spousal and child support, those who win small claims are on their way to collect their money. That can be tough to do, he explains, because it requires digging up information on the person or company's financial situation, how much money they made and what property they own, even what debts and expenses they're facing. This information needed by the plaintiff to put a lien on the defendant's property or garnish their wages and bank accounts. Go Public reached Gross by phone, asking him why he has yet to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars he owes his former client. Hundreds? Tens of thousands. I have no comment about any of that right now, he said in response. Legal game cat and mouse. Yes, we should probably close the Israel while we're talking about this, just for now. Dobson says that trying to track down his former contractor's assets to collect what he was awarded in courts is like a legal game of cat and mouse. When Gross failed to pay, Dobson took the next step and recommended by the province filed judgment provincial personal property registry system, which provides information about a business's assets, like equipment and vehicles, to see if he could collect that way. But no assets were found. Gross is operated or whatever, it's just about the company itself. Terrible. The case shows a domino effect that can happen when people and companies refuse to pay after losing a lawsuit, says civil litigation lawyer Tanya Walker. She says small claim court have many cases and are a bit overwhelmed. So it would be great to see in the future a separate court created to help litigants with collection. Court orders are useless. Last month, BC made changes to the small claims court process by passing the Money Judgment Enforcement Act, which aims to make it easier for self-represented plaintiffs to collect judgments. According to the BC government website, the new law expands what can be seized and eliminates the need for plaintiffs to apply for multiple court orders. Many of the powers that Family Maintenance Enforcement Program has to collect maintenance. Yeah, okay. Basically, just trying to give them a little more power, which I don't know why it isn't. I honestly think like jail time should be threatened even for small claims, especially for small claims. I think the easier it should be for someone to pay, the higher the punishment really should be.